Okay, guys, can you hear me? Thank you so much for joining. I have something exciting. So, for this video that I'm going to plan, I want to plan something around uh, making a musical, which is funny. I'm just thinking, what are the ways to go viral? My thought process is this. Ultimately, and I think I have to update my. I don't know if I should be doing this live or not, but maybe I will update my channel here. Let me just give me a moment. My channel, my channel, Project Zero Arrow. What is it really about? A place to collect, a place to make wisdom popular. A place to make wisdom popular. Or I collect. Um, what is the vision of Project Zero Arrow? Ultimately, an experience that helps people to be happy, to be smart, and the word that's coming is sovereign, but an experience that helps people to be. I collect. Explain it. I don't even know what my vision is, but I can see it in my head. So I guess I collect wisdom and explain it. It's so bizarre. Now that I started my vision, I don't remember what my vision is. So let's read it. Let's watch this vision thing together. Airport is connected. Let's go and watch this video. When I was 17, I liked the most prettiest girl in my class. And she was, I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Different department. However, when I asked her out, she rejected me, which is fair. I had acne, I was not confident. I asked my friend, why do you think she rejected me? He took his phone like this, took a picture of me, and then he showed, tell me, That's real, Prem, guys. Why would the prettiest girl in the class go out with an ugly guy like this? And I, you might think, oh my god, that's so rude, blah blah blah. I saw truth in that. I was like, yeah, why would she? Because I certainly wasn't. Then years went by. I tried searching for this concept called confidence that led me to understanding anxiety because I was really in a bad shape. And in India, going to like a psychiatrist is like the last resort. Unless you're like crazy, even if you're possessed by a ghost, you wouldn't go to a psychiatrist. You'd probably go to a temple first, do all the puja, and then go to a psychiatrist when that fails. That's how crazy it is. So, how do a young person figure this life out? I was obsessed. The one quality I had was research. I was always good at research, and I read hundreds of books, thousands of books. I leveled up. Every year, some major event happened, and I leveled up, leveled up, leveled up, leveled up. From India, I came to Canada. I did my master's. Then I got a job when everyone was not getting their job. I got the job. Then I quit that job. Now I have a better job. And throughout this journey, I was only studying suffering and anxiety just because I had to. I was not really passionate about it, but I was incredibly curious. Oh my God, if I understood this, this would unlock this new aspect of myself. And then, boom, I would be famous, I would be popular, I would be the kid I was never. Over the past 2 weeks, I mean, over this entire phase of this channel, I have started YouTube channel years back, but over the past month, I could not sleep. I know this 9 to 5 job is not for me. I know I don't like waking up at a set time. I want to sleep anytime I want, wake up anytime I want. However, when I got this job, I realized that this job is not the end goal for me. I am not satisfied because I always wanted to give something back. And I thought, oh my God, Prem, if I could just give something, if I was to die tomorrow, what would I do? And I started this YouTube channel for that. However, I was trying to game the algorithm. I was trying to manipulate you guys,
Yeah.
myself, into making creative content. But I've decided now the future of this channel is this Project Zero Arrow. My goal throughout this entire journey, I have read countless books on productivity. I'm a very lazy person myself, but I got a lot of success. And how do I take this? My entire goal is this: how can I package this information in a way that my 17-year-old self would not suffer as much as he did? Yeah, yeah. So I guess, wow, don't tell me now. Hello? The audio is not working. Great. Anyway, I didn't speak much. Okay. Hello? Hello? So yeah, the audio isn't working much. So, and I have this amazing opportunity with this singer. Now, how do I make this? Mm, 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 mm. Mhm, 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 mhm. Okay, I guess let's do one thing. Let's open the Molecule of More book. I don't think I can show this though. Let me just do that and adjust Molecule of More. Doku desu ka? Okay. Um, my head is getting distracted. Hmm. What can I do now? Anyway, you guys can't see. So let me just do this. Mhm, mhm, mhm. So we read 30 pages. So let's at least try to like synthesize our understanding. This is something we should have done. Um, and come on, really? Why is this font coming? And so analogy, just put this here. Look down here and now chemicals, I guess. Look up. That's the dopamine. Dopamine thing. Next thing I would say is the TI. So let me just so they figured it out that expected. So basically, the logic. Something in um you imagine something that is irresistible. irresistible. Hmm. You imagine something that's irresistible. Okay. Then, then you react to that and do the thing. If the reaction is compulsive, then it becomes addiction. Okay. If the reaction, then it becomes addiction. So I'll draw here. You have a guy here. Then you have imagination. Then you have imagination. You have a guy here. Then you have something called imagination. Uh, if this imagination is compulsive, addiction. If the imagination is not compulsive, compulsive is like compulsive and negative. Then it leads to addiction. So you have here, you have the imagination that triggers some reaction from you, and when this addiction hits, when the addiction hits, it's pleasure. Okay. The addiction hits, it's pleasure. Okay. I just draw inside the circle. Imagination. Mm, at I'm just trying to understand what the core problem is. Something arises and we're unable to resist it. Some uh, some what if arises. So let's write it down again. Okay. Some what if arises. And about it. Something arises and thinking about it gets the feeling you should do this. Uh, I'm just trying to like understand dopamine from a more subjective perspective. Like what actually happens to me? Sure, this chemical hits and you get addicted, blah blah blah. But what experientially, what actually happens? Who is Mike Jagger, dude? The hell? Wow. One woman every 10 days. This is so hard to kind of articulate.
Fentanyl must be amazing. Loads of people give up on everything that makes life good for it. Their loved ones, any other possessions or pursuits, homes, their dignity, and even their lives. But actually, fentanyl is garbage heroin, inferior in every single way but one. It's the perfect drug for dealers. And while we hear a lot about how deadly fentanyl is, many people it kills are not even fentanyl addicts. It's truly the dumbest drug to ruin your life for. Let's learn what fentanyl does to you, what it feels like, and why it's so much lamer than heroin. Pain and pleasure. Maybe the two most important forces that guide our survival are pain and pleasure. Pain may be the most visceral physical experience. A claw ripping your flesh, a bone cracking, rejection eating your soul. Pain can be scary and unbearable. It's the strongest signal our bodies have to make us avoid harm. Pleasure is what makes life good because it feels, well, amazing. Eating things that are sweet or high-fat, having sex, or opening another booster pack with your friends. Anything that makes you feel pleasure makes you want to do it again. These two opposing forces guide you through life. Pain shouts, "Stop, this is bad." Pleasure cheers, "More, do that again." But while they are opposites, they're also linked. Sometimes our body needs to end pain and create pleasure at the same time. After giving birth, pain gets toned down and the mother is showered in happy hormones so she can bond with the newborn child. During an intense hunt, the hunter forgets the physical exhaustion and minor injuries. Both are technically not great experiences, but need to be repeated for our survival. And nature invented a powerful mechanism to achieve this.
I watched this and I feel like, oh my god, am I wasting my time doing this thing? And you do it.
The mighty opioid receptor. It's like a keyhole on the neurons that control pain and pleasure. If activated, it reduces pain and how much you care about pain, and it creates pleasure and good feelings. The details are complex and not relevant for this story. What you need to know is that any molecule that can fit into an opioid receptor like a key is called an opioid. Opioids are extremely powerful, so when your body uses natural opioids like endorphins when you laugh, it releases only a tiny amount exactly where they're needed. So the effects are mild and localized. Your sprained ankle feels better, a painful memory subsides, you get a boost of happiness meeting an old friend. And now we're getting to drugs. Humans found opioids in nature like morphine and were quite taken by them. They got refined into a whole family of drugs used in hospitals and to relieve patients that are in immense pain. Codeine, OxyContin, Vicodin, and of course, heroin, and the worst of all, fentanyl. Before we can explain why fentanyl is the most garbage drug, we need to do something fun. Let's inject some heroin together. Ready? The supernova of pleasure. Heroin rushes through your entire body and flips every opioid receptor it finds. A rapid cascade of things happens everywhere all at once. A symphony of intense sensations. Every cell regulating pleasure is now high. Without their control, floodgates of happy hormones open and fill you up top to bottom with pure bliss. A cup of coffee, a nectar of joy. This song you like, a celestial symphony. A cuddle, pure love from the center of the universe. Wherever you felt pain before, from wounds or aching joints or menstrual cramps or loneliness or self-loathing, it's gone now. You are simply unable to feel pain or care about it anymore. Like dimming the lights in a cozy room, your brain's alert system is put to sleep and you feel at ease, warm and serene. Any stress melts away and dissolves into a dreamlike haze. You're no longer worried or tense about anything. This peace even spreads to your essential organs, slowing your breath, soothing and slowing your intestines. Your chest rises and falls like the gentle waves of a quiet shore. You're sailing a sea of calm and happiness that feels perfect and eternal. The full load of a strong opioid like heroin for the very first time is one of the most amazing feelings humans can experience. For a few hours, you're in heaven. And this is exactly the problem. Your brain is not equipped to handle anything like it. You feel too good. But nothing lasts forever, and now you're in trouble. You just experienced the best feeling you ever felt. Your brain's reward center is completely fried and can't comprehend what happened. If what you did felt this good, it has to be amazing for your survival and you should do it again. Except you can never ever feel this good again. This will be your peak life moment forever. You may forever chase this feeling you had this very first time. And now you're back in the regular world, with your insecurities, where your knee hurts, regular tasting coffee, and having to work hard for happy hormones. Comparison is the thief of joy, and now you have your life to compare to a supernova of bliss. The indescribable feeling comes with a damage to your sense of life and self that may be irreparable. And this is not even the worst. Opioids are incredibly addictive, and the addiction among the worst you can have. The supernova of pain. Once you've taken opioids a few times, your brain has had enough. The cells controlling pain and pleasure are constantly high and drowsy, so it boosts them and makes them hyperactive. This happens very
So basically, if you don't
fast, sometimes after a few days of use. You've developed an opioid tolerance, toning down all the nice effects you're doing the drugs to achieve. To feel like before, you'll need way higher doses. Now, you're at a crossroads. Quit and have your system go back to normal fairly quickly, or keep going and take more. You take the wrong turn. Over the next few weeks, your brain keeps pushing back and you keep taking more. The effects are not quite what they were, but still mildly nice. Until one day, you can't get opioids and realize your body is now your enemy. Your systems are so hyperactive that they make you feel the opposite of what the drug was doing. Welcome to withdrawal. It all starts with a creeping unease. Instead of being euphoric and happy, nothing feels good anymore. Your coffee is tasteless, your favorite song lame, your loved ones distant. A storm of negative emotions shatters your sea of calm. Serenity is replaced by anxiety and angst, like something terrible is imminent. Your worries, insecurities, and all the fears you suppressed aren't just back, but amplified into an existential crisis. You're so restless you can't sit still. Your heart is beating too fast. You shiver, sweat, hyperventilate. Your pain circuits are now oversensitive, so your bones and muscles ache and hurt for no reason. Old wounds, physical and mental, torture you. You have belly cramps and diarrhea and have to vomit. You're too agitated to rest. A war inside your body that you can't escape. And of course, there's the craving, screaming for you to make it stop. Your mind and body beg for a hit. You can be in this state for up to 2 weeks, or make it stop right away. Okay, so why not just take heroin forever and feel amazing always? The fun thing is that it doesn't work this way. You get tolerant to the nice effects like euphoria faster than to the bad ones like dangerously slow breathing. So it turns from touching the love center of the universe to mostly drowsy numbness and relief from withdrawal. Now you don't take opiates to get to heaven, but to avoid hell. You're in a prison of your mind and body, unable to connect with all the things that could actually make you feel good. Opioid addiction is brutal and extremely hard to escape. It should be pretty clear that you need to be extremely careful with any opioids, and if you have the chance to do it for fun, just don't. There's a very real risk that your life might just be over, and that you'll go through hell. Now that we've seen the heaven and hell of heroin, we can get to fentanyl, the garbage drug. Fentanyl is really garbage heroin. Everything we just described is true in different intensities for most opioids. They can be great, all of them can be hell. Heroin is just sort of the strongest, except it isn't. Fentanyl is around 50 times more potent than heroin, but that doesn't mean 50 times more amazing, quite the opposite. Fentanyl is extremely good at crossing the blood-brain barrier, the firewall that protects your brain from harmful substances. It enters your brain so easily that you get from 0 to extremely high almost instantly. But just as fast as it enters, it leaves again. A heroin high can last 6 hours, one from fentanyl can fade in minutes. Fentanyl doesn't feel as good as heroin. Instead of a supernova of bliss, you mostly get the black hole of nodding away. But it comes with all the withdrawal symptoms. As a bonus, because fentanyl acts so quickly on your brain, it fries your reward center even more, making it even more addictive than heroin. And since you only need so little of it, it's super easy to overdose and die by accident. It's the deadliest illegal drug in US history by far. Between 2013 and 2023, it killed about 400,000 Americans. Fentanyl really is garbage heroin. Too dangerous, too intense, too addictive, too little fun. But then why are so many people taking it? Well, actually, nobody wants to. Fentanyl is not for users, it's for dealers. The house always wins. Fentanyl is a drug dealer's dream. One truckload could supply the entire US for 1 year. It's cheap to make and easy to smuggle. Heroin needs plants and fields and way more space. So garbage fentanyl just took over the heroin supply. It might have seemed great for heroin addicts at first, and then its trap snapped close. While some people may seek out fentanyl specifically, several studies have found that most opioid users try to avoid it. Even worse, a lot of people who die from fentanyl don't take it willingly. Dealers want people to come back for their product, and by adding a tiny trace of fentanyl to any drug, they can make it more addictive. Even if people don't realize they took an opioid, they'll feel its effects. So dealers started to mix all kinds of drugs with fentanyl, turning the entire US drug market into a minefield where any trip can be your last. Because way too often, they put a bit too much in their mixes. In 2022, the combination with pills, often counterfeit oxycodone and benzodiazepines, accounted for about 20% of all fentanyl deaths. In 2023, the US authorities seized 115 million pills with fentanyl. 70% contained a lethal dose. About half of fentanyl overdoses came where you expected the least, from stimulants like cocaine and meth. A lot of people may have taken these mixes on purpose, but many others just wanted to party and weren't ready for an opioid surprise. This is especially dangerous because if you've never tried opioids, you can overdose very easily. Fentanyl really has no upsides outside medical use. For dealers and cartels, it means easy profit. For users, it means a worse opioid addiction and a worse life. For people who would never ever try it, it can be a death sentence they didn't see coming. No matter how alluring they are, using opioids even in safe settings is playing with fire on the best of days. Fentanyl is a garbage drug that turns this fire into a raging furnace, increasing the risk of death massively. There's really only one conclusion to draw here. If you have the choice, don't step into the supernova of pleasure, because the danger of it turning into a supernova of pain is just too high. Getting to the root of an issue requires looking at all sides and thinking critically about the information we consume. In today's world, this can be difficult. This is why Ground News is such an important tool today. We believe in their mission and are proud to have them sponsor this
I
video.
like this
In a nutshell,
because I don't know if you guys remember this, but let's just go back. If you go here, there is like a graph here that shows what gets you more addicted. Like the faster the dopamine hit you get from something, the more addictive a thing is. So I understand it. I'm just trying to understand how to package it. Dopamine.
Okay, to end this video, I want to give you a trauma lesson.
It'll fry your reward circuit. Too much, too fast fries your circuit. The faster you get, the more it fries. Things that trigger dopamine. Slash things that uh things that about. So let's see why coffee addiction. Coffee why coffee is addictive. Adenosine releases dopamine. I don't know how. My god, dude. I just opened YouTube and there's this thumbnail which came, which was like risque. Makes you want more coffee.
Raymond, welcome to the gym. We're not going to stand for that. It's time to build.
I love this guy.
All right, Raymond, we're going to start out with the compound movement. But before you May I say before you go, I think you're one of the most powerful mages that I've ever had the pleasure to be in the presence of. And for that, I would offer you a gift. You see, I think it's been a long time since anyone has pointed out to you that you're a fool. Pain doesn't make people. It's love that makes people. The pain is inconsequential, but it's love that saves them. And you would know that, but
So any
you
sort
haven't.
of like immediate dopamine hit triggers this thing, and the faster this hit gets, slowly the dopamine fades, and then you get hooked. But if you stop doing it, then you get like a uh, reflex reaction of pain. Fantasize above. Okay. No novelty. Okay. Unexpected things. I think that makes us happy, I guess. Error to forecast the future. Possibility of Possibility of a reward triggers it. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter whose purpose
None around you. Raymond.
I understand why Dr. K's advice, where be bored, stare at a wall, kind of like makes a lot of sense. Because when you're staring at a wall, what you're actually doing is you're fighting that withdrawal that you're getting from like a fried dopamine circuit. It's so funny because all this understanding, once you start using it in a practical way, it just falls away. Because the practical thing is just stare at a wall and don't do and not give up, basically. Anyway, let's organize the information. Something. The only thing that is giving me is it's giving me the confidence to not trust my desires more. The desire for me comes in like a form of a fantasy where I'm actually living that situation. And just by living it, I'm getting like a dopamine hit. There is like some neuroscientist who said just talking about it also give you the dopamine hit. I think I just keep telling my friends, oh, I'm going to make it big. I'm going to make it big. I think just talking about it gives the dopamine hit, you know? So, what gets released during relapse? Like, what gets released in the brain during relapse? I feel like I'm studying the entire brain chemistry now for no just to like understand what the fuck is going on. Okay. In the context of drug addiction, relapse refers to the reinitiation of drug seeking and drug taking after abstinence. The central question that's being addressed by researchers in the field of drug addiction are: what are the primary triggers for relapse? Which symptoms of the brain mediate the effects of these triggers? What maintains the vulnerability to these triggers in individuals even after drugs have been unavailable for long times? Is it a set of physiological changes as brought about by being exposed to the effects of drugs per se? Primary triggers of studies carried out in humans and laboratory. Oh my god, laboratory um, pronunciation.
Laboratory.
Laboratory, laboratory, laboratory. Humans and laboratory animals. Laboratory, laboratory, to, re, to. tau
Laboratory. Laboratory.
laboratory. Studies carried out in humans and laboratory animals have demonstrated that craving. How many animals will they torture before we finally figure it out? That's what I really want to know. And the initiation of drug seeking can be induced by re exposure to cues previously associated with drug exposure, by acute exposure to stressors, and by stresses. In experimental studies in humans, various means are used to present to drug users events that suspected. Oh my god, can I study on stress induced reinstatement? Primary neural pathways mediating studies carried out number of lab provide evidence that brain is mediating effects of stress on injection of drugs and stress on reinitiation of drug seeking are to the same degree disassociable, although common pathways are beginning to be identified. In the following section, I briefly review evidence concerning the role of a different brain system. Drug induced reinstatement. I'll be honest, guys, I don't understand what is going on. I just want to know what the drug. Damn, what? What? Hmm, this is where, gotta use AI. Bruh. Let me just copy this entire thing. Uh, can you just explain me like a simple, like in a simple language? Basically, I want to know when a person is in a relapse, what actually happens in the brain? Like what chemicals are released and what experiences do the person feel? I just want to really understand like what chemicals are being released in the mind that is causing the stress and stuff like that. Cues trigger relapse. People, places, and objects. That's literally everything. The drug itself, stress, uh, cues, drug, stress, self slash food slash whatever, um, really dopamine. Okay. Several systems in the brain getting hijacked in a way that's different. Dopamine is a core wanting chemical. It is released along the pathways running from a region called ventral teg- tegmental area ventral tegmental area to nucleus accumbens and prefrontal cortex. the brain's reward circuitry. When dopamine surges in these areas, it doesn't just create pleasure, it makes cues and objects associated with the drug feel intensely important and attention grabbing. I wonder, let me just draw a box here. Hey, how do the way this is structured, I wonder if I wonder if dopamine is not just like creating pleasure, It's about creating pleasure and activating a part of your mind that's basically like go get this. Uh, Releases pleasure and activates a part of the mind that says go get it. I wonder if that's really the case. Okay, let's go. Glutamate is a signal amplifier. Projections from prefrontal cortex to nuclear serve as a kind of common pathway that all relapse triggers funnels through. Spikes in the circuits essentially turn up the volume on the urge seek. Okay, interesting. Uh, how do I make sure that it okay, okay. Crostipretin refactor brain's own stress hormone messenger, separate from cortisol, the body's blood vessels. Corticotropin. Who makes these names, first of all? Who makes these names so complicated that no one can pronounce it? How do people have conversations like this? The paper found that the stress induced reinstatement wasn't caused by release of cortisol, particularly the bed staria terminalis. A stressful event or reminder of the cues causes CRF and noradrenaline to spike in threat of stress, reward and spikes occurs. The subjective experience of the already willpower is like, or I've been 5 foot months gets overridden. Wow, dude, I don't understand who comes up with these mechanisms. Oh my god, this is so crazy, dude. I see and I see like it's so crazy. See, I see and I see this. Okay, this is like a trigger. They say like cues. Where is the? They say like a dopamine drinks cues, right? This is like a cue, woman, right? And I was like, oh my god, I want to click on that, poop, and then watch it. Mhm, mhm. What? How am I pondering so much? I've not even like read 50 pages of the book, but it's like so crazy this stuff. I never really took time to really deeply understand dopamine, like how I'm doing now. Mm, can serotonin be addictive? Mhm. 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 Baby, 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 baby. It's so crazy to me because if this is just dopamine release and stuff like that, right? Then everything it gives you like a power to do anything. Like how can I trust now? Let's say I like someone, fall in love. On some level, I can just say that you know what, this is just dopamine and stuff. Like what's stopping me from just not engaging with the with the highs and lows? What is Kriya? Okay, so yoga releases Kriya. Hmm. La, 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 la. Wanting something is inherently dopamine. So some dopamine things I engage with, some dopamine things I don't engage with. I think that is what gives you that ability to, do the thing. Mhm, mhm, hmm. Mhm. Mhm, mhm. So, it's so funny. I read this list and I'm like, oh, they're all the most healthy stuff. Oh, let me just show you the list. So here's the list. So these are the list of stuff that releases endorphins: physical activity, strength training, dancing, even a brisk walk, spicy food, dark chocolate, laughter, physical touch, sex and intimacy, bonding with pets, sunlight exposure, music, cold exposure. Is dopamine bad? That's where I'm at now. So there needs to be like a bad dopamine and good dopamine, right? Bad dopamine, good dopamine. And this is like basically depends on your definition, I guess. It's crazy. Even today, so I was in the town hall thing, and I even got this water bottle as like a reward, which is thank you, by the way. And so I was working, and they had this like a refreshments. That's what they call it here. They had like refreshments to eat at the dining area. So I went there. I took a wrap. I took a wrap. I ate the wrap, and then I said, okay, you know what? There were sweets and there were fruits, and I ate the fruits, the blueberries, the raspberries, and strawberries, the watermelon. I ate them, but there was this table filled with sweets, so tempting, like brownies, all kinds of sweets you can think of, and I was so tempted to eat it. But I was like, you know what? This temptation is fake. I know for a fact this is just a dopamine circuits are like triggering in my mind, which is like causing me to then uh, do trigger these, right? I guess when I'm like slowly detaching from that, there's something in my definition itself. The way I'm defining sweets itself is like I'm changing it on a very fundamental level by just doing those actions. That's one of my hypotheses. I didn't eat the sweets. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe in future I will succumb to the sweets one day. Maybe I've always. So I'm not a very sweet guy, but sometimes I am super addicted to sweets and stuff. The same thing happened with like you know what I mean. So whenever I lie down in the bed, I feel like, oh, maybe I should watch the. But then I'm like, no, 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 no. This is fake. This is the dopamine circuit hitting in. This is what it feels like. The wanting of it, the imagination of it. You like pa 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 pa, and then that creates like a reward, and simultaneously says, I want more. That simultaneousness is what's confusing me right now. So dopamine not just says, here's a hit of reward, but it also says, chase this. This is important. So I'm assuming that second part, is it coming from the definition of pleasure equals important? Like, where is that coming from? Where is that belief coming from that this something pleasurable is important to us? Where is that belief coming from? How did a guy just go, you know what, this is pleasurable and this is important? In an evolutionary sense, I guess people who, I don't know if it's pleasurable and then that's why you call it important, or is it important and that's why it's pleasurable? I don't know which comes first. I'm so confused here. I'm just a confused boy. It's so funny because after this, I'll be playing some game and stuff, which I know is going to be giving me the dopamine hit. But it's something that I chose. I think that is the difference between you choosing the dopamine hit versus the dopamine itself. And the one thing I do like about the mobile game is that my phone overheats in like 20 minutes. And I watch like podcast in the background. So I don't feel like I'm wasting my time a lot. But I do know that it is it is like a indulgence that I am entertaining. Hmm. See, even right now, my mind just put like an imagination of like me being outside, doing something, and yeah, no, I know that's dopamine. I know that's a dopamine hit, which is then making me want to buy this course, talk to these people. I know it's all dopamine. And I told that I will stick with this for 1 year, YouTube. So that's a different profession. So this dopamine thing is really like messing with my head because it feels like I'm trying to see something I should not be seeing. And I feel like if I see too much, then I can't go back. I just made this. I made like an arrow and stuff. Bad dopamine. What is the rest of book even if this is just like 70 pages? This is like blowing my mind away. Everything is designed to release dopamine. Everyone is trying to hack this thing to then earn more money. More money is more dopamine. Ultimately, we are getting hooked onto this dopamine, and then what? Then what? That's what I want to understand. So we hook on this, then what? I don't understand what is happening. My mind is kind of like getting fried, guys. I can't even explain. Like, I feel like I've seen something I shouldn't, I've realized something I shouldn't realize. So, because now that I can recognize dopamine, you're like, okay, is this dopamine or is it like, why am I not doing exercise? Because it releases stress hormones, right? That's why. Anyway, I guess I'll end this now and I will go and do the pull ups that I was supposed to do, and we can call it a day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something. Yeah. Oh, I honestly, you know what? You know what's funny? I know that I work well when I'm streaming. I won't be this productive or this deep if I am not streaming. And the reason is, even if no one is watching the videos, I now know that there is an unexpected possibility of reward. There is like a possibility of reward that triggers dopamine in my head that helps me then continue this act of streaming, even if nobody watches. I understand that now. So it's just like a lot of things being like, oh my god, is it all dopamine? Is everything I'm doing just chasing like a dopamine high all the time? Am I just chasing dopamine high in different ways all this time? That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't even know what I'm. I don't even know what the. I don't even know what the right way to live is. I do know that I'm supposed to be creating something that you guys find addictive, but I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Making it addictive means it's more accessible, but if it's not more accessible, then Hmm. Anyway, take care, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.